What's going on, Rebel family? Glad you guys can join me. Pull up, pull up, pull up for another live stream here. I want to talk about the Passport Brothers. It's not a new movement, if you will. I guess the hashtag and the name Passport Bros or Passport Brothers or whatever. That I guess that's kind of taken off and that's kind of new over I guess the past 5, 6 months or so. I would dare guess that's when I first heard it. Maybe it's been a thing for longer than that, but the actual I guess if you will, um movement or what have you has been it's been a long time. I mean, let's see, what are the Passport Brothers, I guess, if you will. I guess in this iteration, I would think um, it's more so black men, black American men, since the hashtag is Passport Bros or Passport Brothers. We are the brothers, right? Black American men. We call it. We always consider it. What's up, brother? Hey, my brother. What's going on, brother? What's up, bro? Whatever. But these are just men who have decided to look for I guess relationships, whether it be for marriage or just female companionship, outside of America. Maybe just kind of getting away from American women. From my understanding, it is American women, not just black women specifically, but since I guess a lot of them, the more vocal brothers or the more vocal Passport Brothers are black American. I guess it's taken on a thing of it seems that people think most of them are talking specifically about black women or black American women, I should say. But from my understanding, a lot of them are like it's the same across the board, whether they're white women, Asian women, Hispanic women, or black American women. American women in general are pretty much the same. But it seems that the majority of the people, again, because a lot of them are black again in this iteration, because we know that this has gone on since what, World War II, where brothers were in World War II, and got over to France and saw, hey, what racism is actually, the racism ain't as bad as it is in the United States. I can actually treat it like a human being over here, as opposed to going back to the States. And quite a few brothers, stayed over there, or um, got with women over there. It's a funny thing. My mom, she's telling me and my brother, it's hilarious because my grandfather, her father, he was in World War II. And my mother and my brother, they are big, um, family history. They love tracing the family history. So while my mother's tracing, her side, my brother's tracing my father's side, because my father, he ain't into any of that kind of stuff. But so, in fact, my brother helps my mother with both sides. Really, he's kind of, that's just his thing, tracing the family lineage. And so they've done massive research, and they've gone back hundreds of years to find family, trace the family tree on both sides. And but anyway, so she was telling us one day, she had us cracking up because she got some information about her father that she never had. So she got some of his military records while he was in the Philippines, right? And it's so funny because the way she said it, she was just like, she's showing us the cards, and it was like it's these medical like cards or whatever. So it's like my grandfather, it's like dang near every week this dude was going to the clinic. That brother kept catching the clap, gonorrhea. He kept getting uh, um, STD, or we called them STDs back in the day. They call them STIs now, sexually transmitted infection, right? So he kept going. He kept having to go to the clinic every other week to get a shot. And so she said, she just as we're talking and we're laughing about it, And then she just bust out and said, "I wonder how many brothers and sisters I got over in the Philippines." You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, but it ain't funny. But I mean, she's saying this about her dad. And unfortunately, I never had a chance to meet him because he passed before I was born. So I never got a chance to meet her father. In fact, I was almost named after him too, but that's a whole nother talk show. But anyway, so we know it's been happening. My grandfather was over in the Philippines during World War II, and some brothers have been doing it ever since then, right? They go over it and they see it's a whole different thing. Matter of fact, even from the standpoint of musicians, black musicians during Jim Crow, early 20s on up, they would go overseas, they would go over to Europe and find that it's a whole different life because the racism wasn't as bad as in the United States. So here we are, 2023, and brothers are still doing that for a better life, cost of living, whatever, et cetera, whatever reasons that brothers are doing it now. But there's a lot of people who are upset, and it's a weird thing to me. You know, I, I'm agnostic on it in terms of, as long as, people aren't hurting people and taking advantage of other people. If these are grown men and they are dealing with grown women, adult women, and, these are consenting adults, then, you know, do what it is that you do and be safe, etc. You know what I mean? If brothers have to go somewhere else to be happy, I'm not knocking them for it. But anyway, so how it came up in the um, recent past here, let's see, or excuse me, yeah, the most recent past um, is, let's see, uh, let me share my screen here so I can kind of um, I can kind of explain what we're looking at here. So, all right, so here we go. All right, so I have the brother here in the middle. Um, the brother in the middle, he's probably the brother who kind of is the face of the Passport Brothers again in this iteration. Brother's name is Auston Hollemen. He's a YouTuber, content creator on YouTube. He was a barber by trade, from what I understand. The brother's around 23, 24, somewhere in that range. And again, his name is Auston Hollemen. Seems like a very sharp brother, um, well-spoken brother. But I think one of his video, like I think is one of his first initial videos, just really took off, and I guess it hasn't been. He hasn't looked back since then, and um, he's kind of been placed as the face of um, the Passport Brothers. He's kind of the new face of the Passport Brothers, and again, this is not a new thing. It's just again this iteration of it. He's 23, so he might not necessarily have been in the uh space before. And let me see. I'll start with the right first. The brother on the right with the hat. Well, the brother on the right of the screen, but to Austin's left, over there by No Game. That is Mr. Lucario. He bills himself as the bad boy of the dating scene. He's a dating or game coach. Uh, he teaches brother. I guess they also call it kind of pickup artists. That whole he teaches brothers or game and in terms of how to talk to women and so forth. He has classes or whatever that he shares with people. Also, content creator on YouTube. Um, and then the brother in the green shirt, to the left of the screen, Austin's right, is Alpha Male Strategies, and again, he is sort of like Mr. Lucario, I guess. A dating or a dating or what do you call it? Dating game coach. He's a dating or game coach. He's a dating game coach. I want to bring over this as well, so we can kind of take a look at the YouTube channel. So it's, again, Auston Hollemen. He's in the middle. The brother just really blew up. 35,000 subscribers. He kind of hit that and just took off. Let me see. What was the first video? I was trying to 4 or 5 months ago. No, maybe no, a year ago. He's been on here for a year, but he was doing barber shop stuff. I didn't even know this here. So he was documenting his barber skills. Um, Looks like, yeah, around 6 months ago, Brazil, maybe 7 months ago. Okay, how to get girls in Brazil looks like the first one. That's kind of one of the first ones, and stop dating women in America was one of the first videos. You could go to O'Shea Jackson's channel because that's kind of how I heard of him and how I saw him blow up. But anyway, Mr. Locario, again, bad boy membership, dating. He's about real game, uh, you know, and then alpha male strategy is pretty much the same thing. Too many weak men. How to get women obsessed. So it's about game. So these brothers are about the game of things. So that's kind of what I want to get into here. And why do I have those three personalities on the screen or in the thumbnail? It is because I get it. I can understand why women would be mad at. Um, I can understand why women would be mad at passport brothers basically stating, "Hey, I'm getting my passport and I'm headed overseas to find a more traditional woman, a woman with more traditional values. I'm gonna go over and do that, especially when you have some of the brothers as they are on their way out, taking shots at different groups of women, American women in general, black women specifically. That, hey, these women are better than you women over here. I can get why women would be well, I can get why both would be triggered. Let me just state it. I can get why women would be triggered by that, or be upset by that, because they say they're not, but they absolutely are. I mean, you go to TikTok or you go to anywhere and put in passport brothers, thousands of videos come up. I mean, TikTok is TikTok is not as forgiving as other social media sites. It appears, because videos that I was seeing 6 months ago, or actually whenever I first came up with this topic, when I saw that um, these two brothers actually had a problem with passport brothers, and then I made the thumbnail. I'm like, I didn't grab the videos at the time. I just assumed, all right, when I'm ready to do the video, I will go ahead and grab those videos. But as I'm looking for doing the research coming up to this tonight, the videos are not there. In fact, whole channels have disappeared and gone away. So the only real documentation I have of a lot of those conversations are from O'Shea's channel, because he kind of documented this. O'Shea puts out 4, 5, 6 videos a day on everything that's kind of going on in the black community, and he pretty much documented it. You know what I mean? And it is yeah, he pretty much documented this. And one of the videos is about 4 months ago, where he states, uh, you know, dating coaches. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I think I'm in the way here. There we go. Dating coaches are roasting black men who go overseas for women. Uh oh. and you know, that's kind of where it got started. And I'm gonna play some of those things and some of what he was saying there. But why dating coaches are upset? Okay, we can kind of see that game, right? But it's pretty much three groups: the dating coaches, two of which we have here, Mr. Locario and Alpha Male Strategies, and not necessarily saying that they are upset, but they commented it on. They spoke on the Passport Brothers and so forth, and why would they go overseas? Then, of course, we have black women who are upset. Now, who I don't get and what I don't get is why other black men are upset about it, and that's what I can't understand. Like me as a black man, I'm not a dating coach, so dating coaches, maybe the Passport Brothers are, you know, affecting their bottom line because they are selling courses, they're selling game, they are they are you know trying to make money. So if a brother says, instead of paying those dating coaches, you know, however much, $1,000, $2,000, whatever they charge, man, why don't you get your passport, go overseas, and you know these women are a lot more cooperative overseas than they are here. So the game is different. I understand the dating coaches are saying the game is the game. If you don't have game here, you won't have game over there. True enough, but the game in different locations are different. And as game coaches, they should understand and recognize that is part of the game. Meaning, if you're not successful in one place, you go to another place. Meaning, when I was coming up again, I was speaking about this last week when I think Omawali was talking about how we used to have to get numbers. We had, as the game coaches call it, we had the cold approach. We had to do the cold approach. Obviously you get choosing signals. That's a lot easier than just you seeing a woman and then she didn't give you no choosing signals, and you just, hey, go up to her and start talking and get a conversation happening and so forth. you know so we had to do a lot of that. Um and we where I grew up, we had two malls. We had two malls, one in the white area of town and then one in the black area of town. Now Now the one in the black area of town is gone. They closed it, and it's only one mall there, and that's just the one where in the white area of town. Now everybody goes to that one. But anyway, so back in the days, we were always consistently going to the the mall in the black area of town. Okay, and we said, all right, one weekend we said, hey man, let's go hit this mall up here. So we're around, walking around the mall, like zero to no black women, because we were about looking at black women. White women, yeah. Back in the days, it was even what's the word? I guess, if you will, the women, the I guess, uh these white women were really not hitting on anything. I guess, in terms of, um in terms of just physically looking decent or anything. I think maybe now, I think hip hop has influenced the culture so much that I guess even white women are a little bit thicker these days than they were back in the day, but they just weren't then, and that's just not what we were, looking at. But anyway, nonetheless, so we're walking around the mall. It's boring. It ain't lit. It ain't. I mean, hell, even if we wanted to talk to white girls, there wasn't really a lot of them there. I don't know where they. I don't, we like we're not white, so we ain't really know where white people hang out like that. But apparently, it wasn't at the mall, because this is a Saturday, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's summertime, and there ain't even really white girls there our age. There ain't no like teenage white girls hanging around. So I'm like, we don't know where the hell. Like, okay, this ain't hitting. This ain't hitting on nothing. Let's go back to our let's go back to our original stomping grounds. but that's part of the game. You're not finding the women that you are looking for in one location, you go to another location. It's very simple. It's like how to put you change school. You're at one high school and then you go to a new high school. All the girls like who's that who's that. It's like that. So sometimes finding new fertile ground, if you will, no pun intended, but finding new stomping grounds, a new territory to you know pick up girls is part of the game. But for some reason, uh, the passport brothers are getting hated on by men who shouldn't, whose bottom line ain't affected. Like I said again, I can understand the dating coaches because hey, if these guys are telling men if their movement gets large enough, that's going to cut into the men that we're trying to get to pay us for game. And I don't even begrudge those men. If those men think paying Mr. Locario or paying Alpha Male Strategies or Fresh and Fit or whoever money and it's going to better them, more power to you. I don't personally believe that because no matter what they teach you, just like a coach, he can draw up a play all day, but the players still have to execute it. Same thing with the dating coach. He can he can teach you you know, do this, do X, Y, and Z, get your confidence and this, that, and the third. And but the players literally have to go execute. It's still going to be trial and error. So just like we had to do it, we didn't need a coach to tell us how to talk, you know, because it was about trial and error. Hey, you go up to a girl, you don't, you get tongue tied or flustered or whatever. You forget your words. You don't know what to say. Guess what? There's a million more girls that you can try it on until eventually it just becomes second nature that you're talking and you're just having a conversation and it's no big deal. It's not scary. I saw this on Facebook and it was this and it's weird and this is a whole other time. I'm gonna speak on this about Muslim women. This Muslim woman was like she's shooting her shot and it's like making a big deal about her going up to a man that she thinks is attractive to shoot her shot. And she's talking about how nervous she was and how and women are like, "Oh, I'm nervous for you." And she's like, "Oh, I'm never doing this again," because she got curved or he just never called her back. Not ghosted her, but he just never said yay or nay, never called. Now I don't want, like thank you or nothing. And it's just like, okay, I'm not doing this again. I'm like, men, we've had to conquer that when we were young. We've had to conquer being, being afraid of going up to a woman and getting shot down until we understood that it's not that big a deal if we get shot down because guess what? If we try 10 times, you know, I don't know what the conversion rate is. We try 10 times, maybe we get six phone numbers back in the day and that converts down to maybe we hang out with three or four of them. I don't know whatever the conversion is, but there's just like with anything, there's a success and fail ratio that you just have to go through. And the more times you do it, the better you get. The more you do something, the better you get, right? Um, Repetition is the master of skill or whatever it's called. Well, anyway, so let's play some of the stuff what these guys were talking about. I'm gonna start with the game guys, right? I'm gonna start with them, just because again, I can see why they may have some issue with it. And I'm running a little bit late. Just had some other things to do right before the stream, but I do want to be able to get to the fights. Hope you guys are watching the fight tonight. It's Gervonta Davis. It's a great card. Andrade, Boots Ennis. It's a great card. So I want to check out the whole card. I don't know if you guys are into fights like I am, but boxing is the one thing. Well, I like MMA too, but I think boxing is more of a science than MMA. But anyway, let's get to it. So I'm going to start off with the game guys, right? What were the game guys saying? And this is after again, but this ain't new. You know, again, looking at well, here's another brother actually. Uh, um, what is his name? I think Minister Jap about a year ago. Minister Jap, one of the brothers in the, I guess in the Black Manosphere, he was roasting the guys for going overseas to pick. He was roasting women for roasting men for picking up women about a year ago. So, as as um, as O'Shea was saying on his channel, again, like I said, he documented all this stuff. That it's every few years, this thing pops its head up. The dating coaches, kind of go at the passport brothers. You know what I mean? So here's the first one, right? So Minister Jap is saying, if you don't have no game in the States, you ain't got no game overseas. You just a lame with some change. Don't make me do a show about you passport ninjas. I'm trying to be nice about it. Y'all talking too spicy, like y'all really with this game. And that was a year ago. So, as O'Shea was saying, this thing comes back up over and over ago. Actually, as a matter of fact, look at this. O'Shea uses the term passport bros a year ago. They missed that one. But anyway, so again, this thing comes around and it goes back around and it's back again, like I said, and it's pretty much because of what Austin Auston Hollemen, um stated. But anyway, so let's take a listen to Alpha Male Strategies, what he had to say about the passport brothers here.
Because guys don't know how to get women to respect them. And so they go to these foreign countries, Brazil, Colombia, all these other countries where women are quote unquote more feminine, right? Yeah. Because they can't get the American women to respect them. And so they want to run to those countries because those women are quote unquote supposed to be, I have no idea, supposed to be more submissive. But at the end of the day, if you can't make a woman submit over here, then going over there, you ain't gonna make a woman be able to submit over there either. And here's
Okay, so let me say this. All right, so it's weird to hear game coaches who like I guess this was matter of fact he's gonna say it again. But Alpha Male Strategies is often quoted as saying, "F these hoes to sleep," right? Um, I don't understand. I, I guess I just don't understand why you care about a hoe's respect. You know what I mean? Like eh, I heard him say this, and I heard Mr. Lucario say this. Like the woman don't respect you. Like if she's a hoe, who cares about her respect? Like I guess we just looked at things differently. I mean, I didn't care if a woman respected me in terms of, especially if I consider her to be okay. I guess I can't be saying this. I don't know the YouTube stuff. I'm just repeating what they're saying. I have a bad habit of that. Okay, so 304. That's what they use in terms instead of saying the H word, I guess. But anyway, so if I thought a woman was a 304, or at least if we thought women were we don't care what they think. I mean, like, who cares what she thought? Like, respect me. We only cared about the respect of the woman that we cared about. Like, anybody outside of that, then it's irrelevant. So he's saying you don't get a woman to respect you, and all of the stuff that they're saying is like the stuff that we learned. We didn't have to have a coach to teach us. We just had to learn essentially through trial and error. And I guess one of the things that they're really big on is if a woman is flaking on you, then you stop dealing with them no matter how fine they are. And I told y'all about that last week that I had a partner of mine upset with it because I put some chicks out of a Jeep that we were in. And it's just, look, we don't have time for, we don't, we just don't have time for that stuff or whatever. But anyway, let me keep going here.
Thing that guys don't even understand. Like, this is how guys get around it. They go to Colombia, they go to Philippines, whatever.
Yeah.
What you're basically doing is you're inadvertently changing the game where your status now is increased to that of someone that makes a lot of money here in the United States.
Bam.
So the only reason the passport game works is because of the same very principle we're talking about. Now you've increased your social status and income to a degree where you're a millionaire in their eyes, versus like being here in Miami, where it's like everyone here has money. It's a first world country. It's competitive. But then you go to Colombia, now you're getting 9s and 10s off of your higher perceived status as an American that makes more money there, and the power of your dollar goes up. So it.
Okay, so look, I hate that I'm even going to say this, but I agree with Myron here. And AMS Alpha Male Strategies is kind of like he didn't like. I don't think he even. I still don't think he got this point here because I'm going to play something else. And I don't think he got this point here. Still, because there's something that is going to come later. That this is when was this? This was 5 months ago that this happened when he was on Fresh and Fit, and something that I think it was a month or so ago. Brothers were telling him this, and he still kind of didn't get it. But this what Myron is saying is smart. Of course, every man, every black man here is not going to be able to make over $100,000. It's just not going to happen. So if a brother has to make $100,000 in order to get with the type of women that he wants in the United States, it's just not going to happen. So it is actually smart for him to say, okay, if I make 50,000, 80,000, whatever it is, and I can get overseas, and now that 50,000 looks like 100,000, that 80,000 looks like 150,000, whatever. My money goes a little bit longer, and especially nowadays with one thing that came out of the COVID or C-19 lockdown is that companies are allowing, or if brothers have to, work for a company, a lot of people are working remote. They understand. Okay, you know what? Which is something that us network guys have been saying for years that there's no need for us to be on site unless we're installing something. We can manage everything else from remotely. So I can be in any city or state, or now you have fast enough internet now, connections or whatever. You can do it remotely from another country. As a matter of fact, a lot of these companies are farming out a lot of tech work to India, China, or wherever. And a lot of these guys are doing things remotely, so brothers can actually just live in a foreign country and work here. You know what I mean? Or whatever, or have business, online business. You could do that anywhere. So if you making that type of money, you can get over there and your money goes longer. That's a smart thing. It's not that's part of the game. I don't understand why these brothers push back on that. Well, I do. I keep saying that. I do understand because of the money thing, because they may cut into their money. What Myron's saying is actually a logical thing that brothers are doing.
It doesn't matter, guys.
Right.
Like, people say, "Oh, well, Colombian women are better." They're all hypergamous. Just as to a matter of what's their sexual marketplace in the localized area and how that dictates
Perception.
No, it's not perception. The only thing he missed here is the culture. That's the biggest piece that Myron is missing. But then again, he's an immigrant, so he comes from a background. I think, what is he? I forgot what that dude is, but he's an immigrant. And sometimes these foreign cultures, these immigrant cultures, they're more paternalistic, so they respect men differently than Black Americans do, because we grow up in a more, not a true matriarchy, but a more matriarchal society where women are revered, and that actually helps Black American men abroad, because they're softer on women than some of these women's own men, and they cater to women a lot more than some of their own men. So that's why we are highly coveted sometimes in other places.
Guys, that ain't the only reason why guys want to run their ass to Colombia. Guys,
And see, he said Colombia because that was a direct shot at Austin, because Austin came out talking about Colombia. He's since switched that he's in Brazil. He's living in Brazil now, but he actually liked Brazil better than Colombia. But when he first came out, he was going to Colombia.
that ain't the whole reason. Because guys don't know how to get women to respect them. And so,
See, he keeps talking about this respect. I don't get this. Who cares about respect? And I say who cares about respect as long as there's no disrespect. But if she doesn't respect, look, she doesn't have to respect you, but as long as she doesn't disrespect you, you don't want to be disrespected. Obviously, if she disrespects you, then you move on. But I don't need her to respect me. But he's going to keep talking about it. But I guess maybe it's a respect and a different thing. I don't know. I haven't had a conversation with him, and I don't watch a lot of his content to exactly know the context. But when I hear it, I'm like, I don't care what she thinks as long as there's no disrespect there, then I don't really care what she thinks outside of that. But if a brother's only trying to smash, he doesn't care one way or another as long as he gets to smash. But I don't know.
So they go to these foreign countries, Brazil, Colombia, all these other countries where women are quote unquote more feminine, right? Yeah. Because they can't get the American women to respect them. And so they want to run to those countries because those women are quote unquote supposed to be, I have no idea, supposed to be more submissive. But at the end of the day, if you can't make a woman submit over here, then going over there, you ain't gonna make a woman to be able to submit over there either. At the end of the day, women don't respect number one thing, the fact that you can walk away. That's the only thing women respect. Bam.
Okay, so Myron said facts, and it wasn't really facts because it's he said he didn't know. He hasn't been over there. So if you don't know, then you really can't comment on what game is like in these different countries in this day and age. You know what I mean? Like you really can't say what it is. You know what I mean? So I really wouldn't kind of speak on it and just like, oh, well, these guys, well, this is that or whatever, if you didn't really know. But here's Mr. Locario from 5 months ago. American women are not the problem. Your game is weak. Austin Hollemen video response. So they were taking direct shots at Austin. Um, it was direct. It was direct at uh, Austin, and you know, here's one from O'Shea from 4 months ago. Dating coaches are roasting. The brothers going overseas. Um, and I'm not gonna play a lot of these but I do want to play. Um, I do want to play Alpha Male Strategies talking to Austin Hollemen. So they did, which was good. The brothers actually did speak to one another. They got on panels together and you know actually spoke to each other. And that's a good thing because more brothers be able to work out their should be able to work out their issues in that type of fashion, right? They should be able to get together and then um you know work their issues out. Okay, so that to me is a good thing. That's a good thing that brothers are able to get together and then have a conversation about it, which is how things should play out. And it's like there's no need to roast them. You're not going to stop them from going overseas, right? And if they cut into your money as a dating coach, then it is just what it is. You're not going, if the people who are again the people who are paying you, if they just look at the two options, I still have to. Yes, I still got to have game either way, but I still have to implement whatever he's teaching me. So there's still going to be some trial and error. No matter what he teaches me, there's still going to be sometimes I'm a hit, sometimes I'm a miss. It's not going to be 100% that you're going to, even them as dating coach, I mean, as game coaches or whatever, game guys, you know, alpha male strategies in the same thing. I'm not going to play it, but he stated how, you know, he wanted to holler, he hollered at a chick and was like, oh, I guess we're gonna get together, whatever it was. And she was like, no. And then he was like, she was just like on red, or she's still waiting for a response. And he was done with her. Like, that's it. So yeah, he may have got a number and all this kind of stuff, but he didn't, I guess, ultimately get whatever he was trying to get. So he sent her on her way, and that's part of it. That's part of it. You're gonna have those times where you got to send women on their way. So here is where Alpha Male Strategies pulled up on Auston Hollemen and some other Passport brothers here. And I just jumped straight to the section that I wanted to play here, where one of the brothers asked him directly, "Yo, what's with the beef, man? What's with the issue here?"
Let a woman know, see, when you play with them and they think they can tour around with you, then that's what they'll do. You have to let them know. No, I ain't gonna call you.
So let me ask you a question then.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was right after he said that about the woman. He wanted to set up something, and she was like, no, she wasn't going, and that was just it. And he was like, he never responded. And you like, look, I ain't got time to play. So here's the question.
So why do the dating coaches always try to knock the brothers that's traveling? I mean, can't we as black men just go in our own lane or do what we want to do? You know what I'm saying? Why we always got to clash and them niggas simps? I mean, the biggest simps is here in America.
And those are some of your words.
Like, come on, man.
Your words at AMS on Fresh and Fit.
Hey, look, I like how they asked the question directly, and shout out to that brother, because that should have been the first question that he was asked when he got on here. Hey, what went by? From what I understand, I think this is right when he pulled up, or I don't know how long he had been on here, but wherever Austin clipped this. But the first question that should have been asked is like, yo, what's up with all the smoke, man? Like, we over here just doing our thing. We ain't bothering y'all. What's up with it? That's the first question I would have asked. But so shout out to that brother for asking the question. And I was waiting for it. I'm listening. I'm like, yo, who's gonna ask the question? Because they were talking about a lot of different stuff. And in this particular clip, they were teaching him about game overseas. And they were asking him, like, yo, have you ever dated overseas? AMS was like, no. He pretty much was like, no. He tried to deflect. He didn't want to say no, because he said, well, I dated in New York City, and there's a big, immigrant population in New York City, and they were all shaking their head like, hell no, it ain't the same. Like, dating a foreign immigrant woman here ain't the same as dating one in their own country. So so they asked him some good questions. He held his own, but whether he did or didn't, he pulled up for the conversation. And the brothers had the conversation and worked it out. So I'm gonna let you hear what his response is of why all the issue.
I'm just asking.
Listen, bro.
It's corny.
Listen, boy. Listen, bro. Because I know right now, ain't none of you guys 400 pounds, ain't none of y'all guys that if I hung around you, you wouldn't be fucking these hoes asleep. I'm looking at none of you guys, and I'm saying none of you guys, if I was
So is that your whole point, just to fuck women? Or are you looking for longevity? Do you teach longevity on your channel, or what? Or are you just trying to fuck some women? That's kind of like something everybody here can do. Everybody here can fuck a woman.
Man, shout out to this brother. He asking a good follow-up question, because it's like AMS is still, people were saying he changed, and I'm like, this is 2022 here. When is this? This is 2 months ago. And Hafiz recently, he stated on that Pearly interview a couple of months ago that I reviewed on when he was talking to Just Pearly Things or whatever. She said she heard Alpha Male Strategy say that F these hoes to sleep. And then she was like, whoa. And then he was like, oh, he's changed. He's since changed. Hafiz said that a couple of times. He's changed. And I'm like, well, 2 months ago, he still said the same thing. So, and I get it. He said that he got a woman that he's been dealing with for 3 months or 3 years on the couch. But he's still saying the same language here.
There's a woman on the couch right here while I'm talking to y'all guys right now that sleep that I've been talking to for 3 years since I moved to Atlanta. So I don't do pump and dump, none of that bullshit. But so this is what I'm saying. You're gonna try to convince me, money aside, money's not an issue, that Mexico or Portugal or Brazil on a experience basis is better than United States.
Way better. Way better. And once you come over here, we'll show you around.
You gotta take a trip first, man. You gotta take a trip first.
We'll show you around. Name the city,
I
name the country.
the same way, man.
One of us there. We'll show you.
Okay, so And see, they're hitting him direct. They're hitting him straight and direct with, um, they're hitting him straight and direct with, yo, it ain't the same, dog. You got to come over here and understand because the cultures, cultures, culture's different, man. I mean, what this is what a majority of us know. When you go overseas and you live overseas, yes, the cultures are different. I've lived overseas a few times, um, Europe, and I've been overseas. And Middle East as well. Culture is different. Like there's like you get in some places and you're just like, whoa, and Europe is different than the Middle East. I haven't lived in Africa. I want to, but I haven't lived there or anything like that, and I would love to, but I would guess the same thing there. Once you go there and you're thinking, I'm used to the culture in the United States, and then I've been to Europe, and then you go to Africa or any part, any country there, I would, and then it's totally different, and you get a different experience. So you can't just think, yes, people will get on here and say women are women and women are hypergamous and this, that, and the third, all over, which is true, but how they have been conditioned and raised and so forth, uh then that's where the difference comes in. you know the environment they are in. It's like you know it's like if you have a lion in a zoo versus a lion in the wild. They're going to behave differently because the environment's different. They're the same thing, same species. It's both lions, but they're gonna do a lot of things similar because that's just their nature. But because the environment is different, it's going to have those lions, you know, act differently in a zoo versus in in the wild or in their natural habitat, which kind of for us, America is the zoo. Yeah, I mean, literally, if we can't start to see that at this point, man, I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, let me jump to over here to Mr. Locario, what he has to say. Or um actually, I mean, I kind of showed. I'm not gonna play Mr. Locario. But I'll play this from Mr. Locario. What he says is his goal and what he's here for.
Person, right? I'm looking in the comments myself, and I'm not privy to this because I haven't checked this, but some of the people are saying that you did like a diss against the Passport Bros. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all look. I did a diss song, and not even a diss song. I did a song about tricks. It's called Traveling Tricks.
Okay.
It's about people tricking. You see what I'm saying? So right. From what I heard, and Passport Bros were saying this, is that they not tricking. So I'm like, how is it about Passport Bros if y'all don't trick? You see what I'm saying? But if you're tricking, that's cool, but it is what it is. So we have to call it what it is. So for example, when I was in Brazil, I tricked when I was in Brazil, when I was like 22, 23. You see what I'm saying? So what it is that because I was tricking, I'm not going to come and say, hey, listen, when I tricked over there, when I was 21, 22, 23, I was doing some player shit, bro, man. I was doing all this, like, I had like tight game when I was tricking. You understand what I'm saying? No, I was tricking. So if something is what it is, we got to call what is what it is. And that's fine. So this is my thing. I don't have a problem with people tricking. That's your business. I have a problem when people are saying tricking isn't what it is. That's the issue. And that's what I'm saying, where people have to be real about what's actually going on instead of just saying things that's not actually what it is. That's all I'm saying.
And he does have a problem with people tricking. Again, that cuts into his money. So if all of his students or guys that are paying him to learn game, if they said, okay, you know what, instead of me taking this $1,000, $2,000 and pay Mr. Lucario to get game, I'll just take it and spend it and buy what I'm looking for. And I'm not advocating that. I'm just you know we're having an adult conversation. It is what it is. These things happen. So I'm just talking about it in general, whatever. It's no, I'm not condoning. I'm not condoning it in Islam. It's haram, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking just in general. He does have an issue with it because he pretty much shames the dudes who trick. Um, you know, you ain't got no game. Stop trick. Because again, logically, if I got to spend money to try to get X, Y, and Z, why wouldn't I just buy X, Y, and Z as opposed to paying you to teach me how to get X, Y, and Z? Right? Just from a logical standpoint. So yes, that's going to so anything that's going to deter brothers from paying him to teach them game, then he's going to be against it, which I understand because as a business person, yeah, he's going to say that here.
You see what I mean? Like, just be about what it's about. You see what I mean? It's almost like if I would be full of shit if I was like, man, my coaching doesn't cost that much, and I'm just doing this for free because that's all I'm. No, you got to pay. The game costs. So I'm letting you know exactly what it is. Like, this is a business. I'm not hiding any of that. So if somebody's like, oh, Lucario's trying to make money, you damn right I'm trying to make money because this is my business. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to pretend I'm not trying to make money when I'm actually trying to make money. So if a person's tricking, that's cool. Just own up to being a trick and that's fine. But you got to be, and this is what I'm talking about being a man. If you're a man, then you would just own up to what you do and what you're about. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
So, and I can appreciate him being honest about, hey, this is a business. I'm trying to make money, and but again, obviously, tricking would affect his bottom line. If all the people paying him decide, okay, you know what, let me just start tricking, then guess what? That's going to come into that. That's going to affect his bottom line. Anyway, so look, that's their issue. So they, at least they had conversations, and it's going to come up again. Obviously, the next wave of the next brother to go viral or something about that with passport, getting your passport and bouncing and so forth. It's going to come up again, and we'll probably see that happen again or whatever, right? But let me take a look at some. Let me take a look at some of these videos with some of these people. And again, like I said, some of these videos are gone. Some of the people lost their whole channels, and when I was putting this together, I just don't know why I just didn't save the videos at that time. And you know, the biggest issue that a lot of these people are saying, like, well, kind of what Alpha Male Strategies, Fresh and Fit, Locario, what they were talking about is, you know, well, actually, let me just play it here. Some of these people were just now with the women, of course, black men can barely do anything without it being a total issue for black women. Of course, the shaming is heavy. The shaming tactics are heavy. Um, and from some of the people that it's coming from, it's just kind of like, sheesh, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, but I guess we'll start here, man. We'll start here. These are some of what you're getting. Who's mad? They say they're not mad about passport brothers and getting their passports and so forth, but you wouldn't be on here making these videos.
Okay, so a comment on my video sent me down a rabbit hole I don't ever want to go down again. Passport bros are real? There's this group of like 7 black men on TikTok with like passports and saying they're going to other countries to find more submissive women. No. Do they not know they're gonna be black everywhere they go? Like an African American everywhere they go? Wait, where are these other countries? Are they going anywhere in Europe? Probably not. Oh, they're manosphere bros, which means they are strategically picking countries that are stereotyped for having very relaxed, if any, rules around these two things. So they're going to other countries not to find submissive wives, but to find women and girls that they.
You see, it's always this shaming thing, right? It's this You know, oh, they're going over there for the cheeks. They're going over there, and then they're calling them, you know, predators and so forth and so on. It's the shaming to the highest and nth degree. You know what I mean? And this one, she was one that went viral most, and she's always on it. And it's just crazy. And the problem is, and I'm gonna say this because, unfortunately, man, brothers, man,
White guy
brothers, man,
clap.
brother. I'm sorry, brothers, man, gotta have brothers gotta have more self esteem about themselves. The reason why this woman here, and I'm gonna play a couple of other ones. The reason why they can say some of this stuff is because there's some brother somewhere that will hit this. There's some brother somewhere that's simping over this woman, and it's just wrong.
Clapping back at these sisters who disrespect black passport bros. Let's play that clip.
We don't talk enough about how passport bros are just predators.
No, y'all are definitely talking enough about it. But my question is, why y'all so heated about this? According to you women, these dudes are awful. Like, they are complete and total pieces of shit. These are guys that you apparently would never give the time of day to. And they have decided to leave you alone. And you're upset about that? Y'all say you hate these dudes. And they have fully committed themselves to never you. And you're mad about it. Like, do you understand how backwards that is? You are mad that guys you say you would never talk to have decided to never talk to you. Not only have they decided to never talk to you, but they've decided to never talk to any of y'all in this entire country. Y'all are just jealous you don't have the ability to do that. There is nowhere in the world where American women are in higher demand than they are in America. These dudes are leaving you alone. Exactly what you claim to have wanted.
So, guys.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop it there. See, that's just logic. I mean, and they know this, and especially Black American women. Black American women, and it's not a shot at Black American women. This is just what it is. You know, who's marrying Black American women the most? It's Black American men. Other groups, even in America, are not marrying Black American women to anywhere close to the level that we are. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So if there's groups of men leaving, of course they're going to be upset about that. That makes total sense. And for them to say they're not, it's silly. But we know they are. But let me keep going. I'm going to play some more stuff here.
Punishing sex outside of marriage with.
Okay, hold on. Let me get here.
Look at this headline. Indonesia passes law punishing sex outside of marriage with jail for citizens and tourists. Who are they targeting? Indonesia has passed a controversial law punishing sex outside marriage with up to a year in jail for citizens and tourists alike. The amended criminal code includes several revised articles that make sex outside marriage punishable by a year in jail and cohabitation by 6 months. But adultery charges must be based on police reports lodged by their spouse, parents, or children. Also, according to the new code, the promotion of contraception and religious blasphemy are illegal. Additionally, in the code, abortion is a crime, but it adds exceptions for women who have life-threatening conditions and for rape. These laws didn't just come out of space. Passport bros out here messing it up for other countries.
Okay, go ahead. Just see, Black men catch all the strays, and they don't even understand why brothers are like, "Hey, we're bouncing, we're leaving." It's just they. It is so it's so ironic. They're proving exactly why brothers are saying what they're saying, and then you have people talking like brother Dr. Umar, and I have Doc. I mean, come on. This is exactly why exactly why brothers leave.
Look at this headline. Indonesia passes law punishing sex outside of marriage with.
And before she starts, let me say this. Indonesia is a Muslim country. Indonesia is a Muslim country. So guess what? Like I said in the video with Obsidian. Hey man, uh any sex outside of being married is called zina. It's illegal. It's illegal sexual intercourse. Zina. It's haram. It's unlawful in Islam. So it's not shocking that a Muslim country or a country that's saying it's governed on the principles of Islam is basically saying, hey, guess what? Because we're Muslim country, we are a country of Muslims. We're governed by Islam. eh, Having sex outside of marriage, eh, that can get you jail time. It's better than the punishment that's. I mean, that's actually more lenient than the punishment that's the prescribed wudu, the prescribed punishments for committing adultery, which is obviously to be stoned to death in whatever certain. I know there's before any Muslims come, and I'm not saying it's just outright. Of course, there's specifics and there's parameters around such, or being whipped with 80 lashes or 100 lashes, depending, right? And of course, there's parameters around that, so you can get 80 lashes or 100 lashes or be stoned to death. They're saying, okay, we'll put you in jail. It's a good way to clean up the society, to try to clean up the society, because they do have, other things going on in the country as well. You know what I mean? In terms of, you know, um, like OnlyFans work. Let's put it that way. Whatever. Anyway, let's keep on. I don't get these women. These women are, ma'am. Hang it up.
Passport boys, y'all just cannot win for losing. Now, a lot of you all were running off to Indonesia, and you know why Indonesia? Because it's in the top 5 of being abusive to women and children. And so a lot of business men were going over there, and then it's been fine all these times for them to go over there. But now the passport boys, now that y'all say y'all gonna go over there, look at this video and see what they got for you when you get over to Indonesia. Poor things. Oh, I better not slip in all these tears that are falling.
These women are insane. And understand, this is who's raising the younger generation of women. This woman is clearly in her 50s, maybe 60s. You know what I mean? Like, this is who's raising these women. And, I don't know. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna get to. Let me play. Let me play this other one for you. Goodness, this is downright insane in the sense. Let me cue that up here. Where is it at? Is it? Got too many of these damn things open. All right, here we go. Let me play this. This is crazy. I mean, look at these. And I'm gonna say this is the same thing. It is unfortunate. Look, I mean, look at this. Come on. This woman gets on TikTok in this bonnet, and unfortunately, there's some black dude somewhere that, if not already hitting it, he will. And brothers, come on, pick your standards up, man. That's why I'm not even mad at the brothers going. If they got to go over to Brazil, Colombia, and they can get women that are in shape and not have to settle for a woman that looks like this, and then is going to be have a nasty attitude too. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not even mad. And then Dr. Umar shouldn't even be upset, especially if brothers are going and they are dealing with um they are going over to somewhere and still getting with who he would consider an African, an Afro-Colombian, a Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian, or whatever they call them. Like, come on, man.
Of the men who said they're going out of the country to find a wife. Number one, they act like we care.
You do.
Number two, it shows that how they are mentally. they're no different than people who see Black people as just being criminals or whatever, because most of the time that's what the media is showing you. So in there,
let me kind of deal with this, and I think
Okay, I'm gonna skip past O'Shea. So this is the level of people that you have that are making videos and upset. It's very few that I could find, even when I did the research anyway. Like this person's channel is gone. There's very few that I could find that were actual good looking women and that were upset about it. Most of the women that are good looking, they're not gonna have this problem. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the dudes. This dude's channel is gone too, but this dude, I cannot find those videos. This dude had a video. He was speaking with Obsidian, and his whole thing was that black men are tricking, as if this dude himself doesn't have to trick. And I'm not taking shots at the dude, but if we look at this brother in Auston Hollemen, just on the strength of what black women like, they would pick Auston Hollemen over this dude. And I'm just using Austin since he's the face of the Passport Brothers at this particular point in time. But this brother he's going hard, and I don't even understand why. He's going off on them like.
All right.
Listen
So
to what he
this
says.
guy is Ultimate Black Man Radio. I know the brother. Shout out to him. I've done a show with him before. Seems like he doesn't like the Passport Bros either. Let's see what he has to say.
We outside today. If you can see, it's raining. I got water all on my glasses, but the sun got your boy's skin looking kind of good. Ladies, should we talk about the Passport Bros today? When you see dudes saying they got their passport and they about to go overseas to find their wife, and you see they have the initials SYSBM in their bio, which is short for Save Yourself Black Man, those dudes are tricks. These dudes have a firm understanding that they're so socially awkward and so socially inept that they need to pay to have access to coochie. Thing is, they're so broke that they can't afford the cost of women sex workers here in the United States. So these dudes with warehouse jobs, these are the type of Negroes that work on the line up there in Detroit at the car plants, they take their little 35, 40K overseas because it stretches longer.
Okay, that made no sense. So he said they can't afford sex workers here in the United States. So I guess it's okay to pay sex workers here in the United States as opposed to. So if they can't afford them, okay, I'm gonna let some of the brothers speak for themselves who are doing this. But I want to see the hypocrisy of it all. Just like him, because he said they're tricks, and when he was speaking to Obsidian, he was saying get your money up. And I was like, okay, if you're calling them tricks over there, if they stayed here and got their money up, then are you saying they should be tricks here? Like, what are you saying? Just get your money up and you'll get a better grade of woman here. Why? It makes no sense. It- so if they're tricks overseas because they don't have no money, your in your grand logic, in your grand wisdom, they should just get their money up so then they can trick over here. Eh, These people, you can tell it's all emotional based. And then for him, I don't even understand why. He's not a game coach. He's clearly not a game coach. And I'm not gonna put the brother's information out here, but while I was looking for his channel, dudes was exposing him. This dude got arrest records for, you know, I ain't even gonna say. You just go look it up yourself. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, dude, when you're out here talking, like, you can't be in a glass house. You can't be throwing rocks and hiding in a glass house. I'll just put it that way.
Enough about how passport bros are just predators.
I'm not a. Okay, so this is the illogic. This is the illogical. These are the illogical arguments that these people are making. This is just how a logical brother breaks this down.
We don't talk enough about how passport bros are just predators.
I'm not a predator if I sleep with women in America, but if I sleep with women outside of America, I'm a predator. Got you. Guess that means you stop sleeping with people in different states too, right? You live in Florida. Don't sleep with somebody in Chicago. You're a predator. Logic. The obesity rate in a different country is not as high as America. Stay here and sleep with all the mammoths. Got it? Women in other countries are nice and they look good. Stay here. Deal with somebody who's nice but don't look good. Or deal with somebody who looks good and wants to rob you passively. Nice. I don't think she used logic. I don't think logic matters to her. She's not happy at all. She keeps on forgetting to use her Planet Fitness membership.
So yeah, brothers are not, brothers are coming back with this stuff. They're just like, look, man, and let one of the brothers speak about it himself and kind of explain since most people are not going over and you know actually doing this and knowing exactly what's happening. Let me let this brother just break it down here.
And then we'll come back and break it down.
In order for a brother to travel overseas, he can't be dusty and broke. Number one. So all them people, the little angry lady, I'm pretty sure everybody saw the video that sat back and told, y'all sit y'all dusty behinds down.
I can't
Y'all
look. I can't even find her video because her channel is gone. Like I said, TikTok clears people out. TikTok don't play. I don't know what I don't know who's, but that's the one social media seems site that if you are like if you're talking, most don't care about how black men are treated. Like Twitter doesn't give a crap about you know black women call them black men bullet bags and delete black male babies and all these silly things that go on Twitter. People are trying to report people and get people accounts suspended and so forth. Twitter doesn't give a crap about that. But TikTok, it seems I'm like all these people are gone. Like their accounts are no longer on TikTok.
baby mamas told y'all can't travel because you can't get your passport anyway. See, that showed the ignorance. Number one, if I owe child support, I can't get a passport. Duh. So who you talking to? Secondly, all these passport bros don't have baby mamas. Okay? And then international tickets are not cheap, people. For me to fly back to Southeast Asia, it's almost $1,600 one way. That's not counting transportation, hotel, food, all of that. So this idea that, oh, they dusty and they broke, that's why they're leaving, that doesn't even make common sense. The reality is, the men that, like my grandmother used to say, the men that got some business about themselves, the brothers that have worked and retired or are still working a good job that might not meet that 6 figures, 6 feet tall, 6 inches matrix that a lot of modern women are putting out there. He's not a high value man, but the brother don't have no baby mamas. If he did, he don't owe no child support. He's taking care of himself. He's paying his bills. He qualifies for a passport because that's a privilege. That's something that's just not given to people. That's a privilege. So that brother that's traveling is far from broke. He might not be super wealthy, but he got enough money. And even on that, I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm in Atlanta right now. For me to fly to LA round trip, hotel, rental car, food, all of that costs me more than it does to fly to Cartagena, Colombia, the DR, El Salvador, Mexico. Facts. You know, so this whole bashing and attacking passport brothers or brothers that travel that we destined, we broke. The reality.
So one of the things he talked.
All right. All right. So yeah, I just wanted the brother to say it for himself. And then you have dusty dudes like this, man.
Same house, and she thinks sweeping. Y'all can live in the same house, and she thinks sweeping her own floor is a slave duty.
No, it's a slave duty when you have to do all of those things and still pay half of the bills. You see, men like this are so dense that they can go overseas and not realize that the women that they're going to talk to across seas are going to expect them to be the same providers that they're running away from being in America.
And goofball, Myron explained that earlier. So if the cost of living is a lot less, then the brother's money is going a lot further. He could do that. Whereas he might not be able to do that over here, but and I'm saying might not because like the brother just explained, it's gonna cost you some money over there. Another brother was explaining that on I forgot which channel it was, and I was doing some research, but it was a long conversation. He was explaining exactly how much money it is to go over there and actually live. Like in certain places, you can't buy your house. There's no mortgage. You have to buy your house straight out or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly where I heard it, but the brother was explaining like it's a lot. It's expensive to live overseas, and certain things because of the culture is different. But why these dudes like this, man? Dude got 100 videos about Auston Hollemen, and this is a new guy that crept up on the scene. Um, and so they're not the only ones that are uh defending the passport brothers, but let me play you something here. This is
Women in the United States are kind of like tarnished goods because they feel like the women in the United States are kind of like tarnished goods. And I want you to watch this video, okay?
This is exactly what I'm talking about. No one said that women are tarnished goods. If you actually look at a passport bro, which I know many of them, they are not going over there to grape and conquer. They are going over there because they are giving up over here. The reality is that there are too many women that are saying that they don't need men. Men want to be needed. They want to feel valued, like they are protectors, like they are alphas, like we need them. The problem is that too many women are saying, I don't need a man. I too say I don't need a man, but damn, I want a man. They do things better and faster.
okay. So I want to talk about this. Before I get to that, there's only one logical argument that I heard against the passport brothers. Only one. Out of all these arguments, you ain't got no game, you ain't got no money, you can't get women in the States. Those are pretty much the same arguments. And men and women are making those same exact arguments. Brothers don't have no game, they can't get no women, they're over there tricking. The women over there are not the women over there are poor. They just using you for your money, which all of that occurs over here. I mean, I swear, when you hearing women saying things like, you know, when we go out on a date, you got to pay for my hair, you got to pay for my, pay for me to get an outfit, you got to pay for my gas if I'm meeting you, you got to buy my kid a meal to go, you got to pay for the nanny. Like, you sound broke. Not the man ain't broke. Those are your responsibilities to feed your child. You and whoever you made that baby with. If you got to get it, you want to go out, you want to get a nanny. You know what I mean? Like, you sound broke. You ain't got no gas. I got to fill your car up. These are all videos that we see all the time. Time is getting long. I would play them. But maybe I'll chop this video up, and I'll put some of that stuff in there. But this is what women is. So it's not necessarily men that are broke. It sounds like you guys are broke. But if men got to go through all that here, where women overseas are like, hey, look, I pay for my own stuff over here. I'm good. We just want to hang out or whatever. But anyway, one logical argument. It came from the brother Omawale Africa. I couldn't find this. Too many hours of videos to try to find this stuff. I should have clipped it when I heard him say it. So part of his, I'm gonna really butcher his definition of manhood, and but about it, his definition of manhood is about building institutions to produce the goods that are needed for the community. Something along those lines. And what he said about the Passport Brothers was this: that the brothers are leaving because they don't like the product that Black American men produce. So Black American men are leaving because they don't like the product, i.e., the women, that Black American men produced. So they are going to buy the product, not literally buy, but they're going to seek the production of another man, i.e., the women that other men have produced. So you don't think the women that you produced are quality or high quality enough so that you will go over and get the higher quality product, i.e., women that other men have produced. That's the most logical argument against the Passport Brothers, and in particular the ones that are older. But we can't put that on Auston Hollemen because he's 23. He doesn't have any children. So you can't, that would be our fault. My fault as a Gen X, Omawale's fault as a millennial, because we didn't foster an environment for brothers like Auston Hollemen to have better women. So it's our fault. So that's the only logical argument that I've heard against the Passport Brothers. But it is not the fault of the brothers who are, I don't know, what do you call them, Gen Z? I have no clue outside of Gen X and millennials. So Gen Z, he's Gen Z. My son's a Gen Z. So if they decide to do that, that's my fault because, obviously I didn't foster a environment that produce better women. But a part of it is, our insatiable love for stuff like hip hop culture, which these women have adopted to where they will say, suck my D. Women will frequently use that phrase because they've heard it so much through hip hop and just comedy, movies, in just general language. Now they've adopted those types of, so that is our fault. So if anybody's to blame, then it is baby boomers, Gen Z, and millennials who have not produced the type of women that these Gen Z like Auston Hollemen should be able to get with, and then they're not, you know, th- they're not saying, okay, I'm going to get other women. I've heard BGS More talking about how his grandsons, they don't date, they don't, or his sons, I think, yeah, his sons don't date any black women. They date all Hispanic or whatever. But I think he's out in LA, so that makes sense out there. Or Asian and Hispanic. Um, but it is these three generations have failed the Austin Hollemans because we didn't produce the women, the quality women that have produced it, along with the women. I'm not, but I'm saying this is a men centric channel, but let's look at some of the women, and excuse the language on this one, but I just have to play it as it is. I can't bleep out stuff because you got to hear this. But let's look at some of the women who are. There's plenty of videos with old grandmas like this talking like this on social media, but these are the women raising Gen Zs that the Austin Hollemans have to pick from. And I don't blame him when I hear this. Though she's not saying it, you can only imagine her mindset with a mom or grandma like this, and then hearing all of what she's heard in the culture, or hip hop culture, I should say, because it's not just our culture, because it's not my culture. But anyway.
Cause y'all some broke hoes right now. Y'all fuck a nigga, suck a nigga for free. I don't get down like that. Back in the day, I don't get down like that, boo. Huh.
I got a man.
I have a motherfucker walking around with one sock on, butt ass naked, goddammit. You don't know what that mean, don't you?
Nah, what that mean?
No, you got no clothes on, one sock on. Broke to the motherfucker, fucking with me.
Man, I couldn't even imagine if my grandmother was saying something like this around me or my sisters or I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine. Even my grandfather didn't talk like this. On my pop side. I couldn't even imagine, man. This is just crazy here.
Ask your stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he married me, don't you?
No. What's the
Fell
story?
asleep with the dick in my mouth.
Look at this. Come on, man.
That's how I got out. Woke up next morning, he said, would you marry me? I said, yes. Y'all fall asleep with dick in y'all mouth, ain't got married yet. Y'all motherfucking let niggas don't even want y'all motherfucking ass.
Now that's funny. I forgot she said that. Okay, she did clown him like, yo, at least we did get married. Y'all ain't even getting married. I mean, but all this about the money. So the women here conditioned for tricks also.
Y'all some sorry motherfuckers. That's why.
No, we sorry.
You know what, that Berkey? I'm
I
home.
got a man. First
You got a
off,
man?
I got a man.
Girl, please. That's y'all call men's. I got a man.
What you
He love this.
Sheesh.
Don't know what the fuck to do.
And by the way, whoever her man is, dude, get some standards. Come on. It's terrible.
Cause y'all.
Okay. I'm sorry. I had to play it as is. But anyway, so those aren't, the Passport Brothers have some allies. The Passport Brothers have gotten some allies, and I wouldn't even trip over this except that I really wouldn't condone this, or I would again, I'm not even condoning. I'm indifferent because people are going to do what they're going to do. But here's the thing. It's where is it at? Let me just say that. I wouldn't even be upset with it. I mean, I would be upset with it. I would be upset with it, but they didn't start it. So they literally was minding their own business and they caught strays. They caught strays because they caught strays because um black women were upset with black men for being passport brothers, right? So Filipino women, they are they are clowning on social media. And their targets, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna kind of skip through it, but she's clowning here, and it's kind of funny because they didn't say anything to anybody. They didn't say anything to anybody, and it's not a defense, but if you come for somebody, if you're calling people broke, uneducated, poor, or they're just SCX workers, and they're just out here, okay, expect for people to respond. And the responses are funny to me because they are clearly trolling, and they understand that they clearly got people in their feelings. This woman here is called the Filipina P, or whatever her name is, or I don't know. I guess that's her name. This is on her channel. Um, yeah, yeah, this is on her channel, but I don't know who this better biatches. I don't know who that is, but anyway, so she's clowning here, and look, she's just using logic and reason, really, to debunk some of the talking points of you know the women who are making all the TikTok videos against Passport Bros.
Hi, folks. The Filipina P here. And today's question is, what do women think of men who leave their home countries to seek love in foreign lands? Well, apparently, there's quite a war of words going on between a certain segment of Western women and men who pursue international relationships. It seems there's a lot of animosity against these guys, with name calling and outrageous accusations. The conflict centers around a movement called the Passport Bros, who are typically black guys who have gotten fed up with the situation in the West and decided to look elsewhere for a happy life. Now, even though
Look at that. She didn't even, and she still was to me, and it was still was respectful enough to not even say black women. She said the situation in the West. She said black guys and the situation in the West. She didn't come right out and say, "Oh, black women," because, like I said again, a lot of black men were saying all women in America, not just black women, but all women in America.
the passport bros are mostly African Americans, I think you'll recognize the same tactics being used to shame any guy who dares to dream of finding a better mate overseas. So, what are these women saying about the men?
Passport bros go to third world countries and purchase little girls and turn her into a breeding mare. They're little girls, you're sick.
Hey, who you calling a little girl?
Yo, when I saw that, I couldn't stop laughing. This is that's the epitome of trolling. That is the epitome of trolling, and that's funny because what she said was absolute silliness. That that is that is a classic troll. Okay,
One woman describes the.
okay, here we go. Let me get right there.
So, where is all this anger against the passport bros coming from? It sounds like the guys just want to find greener pastures, and the women don't seem to like him very much anyway. So, what's the problem? Well, let's listen to how one woman describes the passport bro phenomenon.
Black women, are you ready? Apparently, there's a group of, you guessed it, Black men who have grown weary of the quote control that Black women have over them. So they've decided to seek dominance elsewhere. And that's in the form of traveling to third world countries to seek a bride. What's at play here is that these dusty, mediocre at best so called men have finally come to the realization that Black women are no longer willing to settle for the bare minimum and are choosing to stay single and maintain their peace. If divesting to desperate and disenfranchised women is so great, why do you all have to make an announcement, a grand announcement? Oh, I know why. Because you actually think that this will hurt Black women. So, sayonara, arrivederci, adios.
Okay, so the undesirable, dusty, mediocre, at best, so called men want to get away from you? I wonder why they want to do that. You sound really sweet and not bitter at all. As for why the passport bros want to announce their intentions, maybe they're not trying to hurt women. They're just letting other men know that leaving is an option. But if you want to make it all about you, be my guest. So, how does this next lady describe the movement?
And see, she's using logic because yeah, are some brothers doing it to kind of say ha 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 at black women? Of course, sure, that's going to happen because there's going to be brothers in their feelings as well. It is what it is. There is some of that, but again, she's being logical in the sense that I think a larger part of it is, hey, brothers are communicating. You don't have to take this to other brothers because for so long, again, if you heard Generation X brothers and especially baby boomers talk about it, hey man, you were shamed out of the yin yang if you thought about dating someone other than a black woman. Not just from the women in your dating pool, but your mother, your aunts, your grandma. You know what I mean? You were gonna get shamed for it. So and unfortunately, in our generations, again, probably millennials too. I think they were the last generations that it happened in. But definitely baby boomers and Gen X. Man, we were getting clowned. I heard Kevin Samuel say that about that one time. It's like if you were dating a white woman on the yard wherever he went to college at, you would get clowned, and that's absolutely 100% correct. So I think it's for the older brothers. I would think it's probably more just hey, letting other brothers know, hey man, it's all good. Don't worry about what nobody's saying. If you got to do this to be happy, then be happy. But then are there some brothers saying, doing it to kind of thumb their nose at black women? Yeah.
I am not mad about black men getting their passports and paying to play overseas. I just truly want to help these men to see logic and reason. A man that's looking to marry a foreign woman went to an event wearing a top hat.
And that's not even a passport, brother. Come on. This is disingenuous. That's a dude on 90 Day Fiance. This thing was all over Twitter. This dude is from 90 Day Fiance.
Brother, are you
I think he went to Ukraine or somewhere to get a woman.
serious? You look ridiculous. And you're clearly undesirable, but I'm sure that you've blamed black women for your lack of what it takes to attract them. But you want to go overseas where women are unaware culturally of your nature and pay them to pretend while you give them nothing but money and a wet behind. They aren't marrying these women. The men in this movement are largely undesirables or men that want to use a woman freely without her giving any pushback. No, I'm not mad that certain men have decided to go out of the country looking for their next victim. I'm completely okay with that.
I'm getting some mixed signals here. You say you're fine if the men want to leave, but then you call him ridiculous, clearly undesirable, and claim they're just using women. You say you're just trying to help, but that sounds more like an attack. So maybe you do care, just a little. And you say men don't come here for real relationships, but that's just not true. My cousin married a passport bro, and they've been happy for years. So why are these women misrepresenting the guys who want to leave? Well, after watching a few more of their videos, I started to notice some common tactics.
The passport bros are dehumanizing women to the point of basically being used for their uterus and domestic capacity. The passport bros want to put them to work in the bedroom and the home.
Ah, yes, the claim that the guys are coming over here so they can turn women into slaves and force us to work in the bedroom while they impregnate us. Diabolical. You seem to think
Woman
we're
is funny.
mindless
I'm
idiots with no
sorry.
will of our own. We might be traditional women, but we're not empty headed. You may not know this, but in the Philippines, women actually have quite a bit of say so in the household. Just talk to some of the foreigners that are married to us. But I suppose you know my culture better than I do, right? And as far as turning us into incubators, you've got that completely backwards. 99% of the time, it's the Filipina begging the foreigner to have a baby. Where are you getting this stuff from? Next.
But you have to understand, a lot of us, 46, be 47 soon, each day that goes by makes me more grateful that I'm divorced. I thank God every day that I'm divorced. If you want to get your passport and go overseas, you're welcome to it. Bye. I mean, maybe there you'll find women who are okay with being treated like doormats. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure you're very happy with your choices and the way you've carefully crafted your life to end up alone. But you think foreign guys treat us like doormats? Lady, you have no clue. Foreigners have the general reputation of being more caring and attentive than anything we've ever known. Who told you otherwise? Or maybe you're just making assumptions again. What else you got?
Passport bros
wait.
are nothing but a bunch of pedophiles who's traveling across the world to get young girls. It's pedophilia tourism.
Nothing but pedophiles? Nothing but? Which means that all the guys who look for partners outside their country are pedophiles? That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. But you made the claim, so you have the burden of backing it up. So please, give us the evidence. Show your data. I've been living here 30 years, and the women that foreigners choose are adults like me. And in case you didn't know, buying little girls is completely illegal. The fact is, the vast majority of passport bros are coming here for a real relationship with a woman, not to molest a child. What's wrong with you? And why would you accuse your own man like that?
Okay, I'm gonna. I can't. I can't play no more. As funny as she is, but yeah. So she makes a lot of logical arguments in terms of just breaking down different videos of, and again, like she said, why would you? I don't even understand what these dudes who are not game guys and it's gonna affect their business. I don't even understand why they are upset. But here's another one. She's clowning too. These Filipino women are clowning, and then they are choosing hard on black men, and that shame stuff is. I, I don't know if it was the Kevin Samuels effect. I'm going to call it that, but that shaming stuff is out the window at this point. You guys can't just come on here and, like I said, Filipino women caught strays, b- because they didn't say anything, but black men saying they're going overseas anywhere, and then it's oh, you're going over there, and then they caught a bunch of strays, and then there's a few that are just coming back out, and like I said, I would have a problem with it, but you know if you threw shots first, then shots coming back your way, then that's warranted, especially when what you're saying about black men is just some of the silliest stuff on the planet.
Can understand that Asian or many Filipinas are attracted to black men. Why can't you just accept that the black man that you don't like is wanted in the Philippines? And the fact that these guys don't want to be with you, that means they are not being treated like a king. And why settle for someone who don't want to treat you like a king when you can go to the Philippines and be treated like one? And that is why people, not just my black king, everyone I'm talking about, men who are unwanted in your country have to go to the Philippines. And then they say, oh, we don't care. You can have our leftovers. We don't care. But the truth is, we Filipinas love leftover. Leftovers are the best. You know why? They can at least compare us that, whoa, you guys are way better than my ex or my ex-wife per se. So guys, especially to the future kings of the Philippines, what are you waiting for? Look for your queens now. Because I can guarantee you, once you find your Filipina queen, you will automatically become a king.
So they are clowning hard, and she's made quite a few videos saying similar. You guys are calling them leftover toys. Well, we love leftover toys. They're just clowning hard. But again, in terms of the brothers, if that's what they're gonna do in order to be happy, black men deserve to be happy. We, you know, we're everybody's whooping boy. Um, Even other black men and other black women love to whip up on us. It's that internalized anti-black misandry, because it's very easy for to whoop up on a black man because nobody's going to say anything. Um, you know, you can call them all kinds of names as we saw in the videos. You know, black Americans just don't have that type of um pedophile culture, messing with children, that kind of thing. For the most part, it is in other cultures, that is their culture. It's not really in ours like that. And you know, these men, yeah, sure, some of them are not, but they're in their own corner of YouTube. You have to go looking for them in order to find them. Like, you know, the videos will probably pop up, more recently now because I've been searching for different videos, and the algorithm will recommend the channels or recommend the videos to me. But, for the most part, I don't even see it. Just like I don't see the game guys stuff. I don't see Mr. Lucario. I don't see Alpha Male Strategy because I don't watch it. But that this is a problem in the black community. Again, I get it from women being this emotional and making thousands and thousands of videos about dudes that you claim that you don't care about and don't care, have no interest in. They're the bottom of the bottom, the worst of the worst. You know, I I can understand them doing it. I don't understand men that don't have some kind of interest in terms of money. To me, it would make more sense if, look, for me, okay, hey brothers, okay, I'm all about black American women. I love a black American women. I love, love, love. I am not getting with nobody but a black American woman. I'm that brother. I would, okay, you know what? There's thousand, 100,000 more brothers going over or going overseas and being passport. That means that leaves more black women for me. So these brothers should be happy about it. All these dudes who are, um, even hell, even the game guys, in a sense, like I said, it may affect it may affect their bottom line because some of the brothers may look up and be like, hey, look, why am I paying you for game? I could just go overseas, and there's women that are way more cooperative, and the little to no game that I have will translate over there better than it translates here. I can get the experience of talking to women over there and come back, and maybe the game will start to translate over here. Maybe if they start thinking like that, and then they left the game brothers alone, I can see why that might, okay, that's affecting my bottom line. I see why they would take action to, that's like the lobbyists for, the big tobacco or firearms. When someone's making legislation or coming out hard against the tobacco company, like they did that guy David Haig. I think he was going hard against the gun lobby, the gun industry, and they dug into his background and found they had a smear campaign against that guy to discredit him because it's affecting their bottom line. So I get that part from the game guys, Mr. Lucario, Alpha Male Strategies. But again, like I said, they sat down and had a conversation with Austin. However they chopped it up. So maybe the beef is no more, whatever, and they got their points out and then let people make up their own mind. But for black men, we don't seem to be able to have agency. We seem to not have a mind, because everybody want to tell these brothers, oh, they just playing you for their money. They- isn't that what women are doing here? I should have played that video. I mean, it's been 2 hours anyway. But you know, if women are saying, you gotta, before you even go out on a date with me, you gotta pay for all this to get my hair done, my nails done, get me an outfit. You gotta pay for the nanny. And when we go to the date, I gotta get a to-go plate to bring home to my child because I'm going. That's juicing a brother. We see videos of women will bring their friends and then expect for the guy that she's on a date with to pay for a meal for all her friends. Like, come on. The game is the game. Like, women are trying to get resources out of men here. Of course they're trying to do it over in Colombia, Brazil. You're telling y'all ain't people act like they just invented the light bulb or something by saying, oh, these women are just trying to game you. Oh, they only want you for their money. Well, guess what? If men want sex and women want money, it's always been the game of who's going to get what they want first. You know what I mean? So that's always in the air. These brothers are not stupid. They know this. They understand here or there. If I take a woman out to dinner, like some of these brothers, some of the videos that we're seeing, brothers are getting gamed over here. They fly a woman out, and then the woman don't want to give up the cheeks or the yams or whatever. She don't want to give up the yams. And then the brothers are mad and like, okay, I'm dropping you back off at the airport and I'm putting you out and all this. So brothers are getting gamed over here. Brothers taking these women out to what's that, Salt Bay, the guy sprinkling the salt on the steak. They said it's like $500 or whatever just to get in that restaurant, to have the man sprinkle salt on his steak and then put a piece in your mouth or whatever. Men are taking women out to this, and they're like, okay, good night, have a good day, and ain't even getting a kiss at the end of the night. Like, that's why brothers are, even coming here, brothers are saying, or letting each other know, it's not to be mad at the women, letting each other know that, hey, look, take women on coffee dates, take women on walks, and don't just start spending a bunch of money. Tariq has been saying that for 20 years. Way back in the day, with some of the stuff that he was saying in his old Mac lessons or his book or whatever, about never spending over $20 or $50 or whatever on the first date or whatever it is, 20 years ago. And hell, man, like my brother was like I told him that dude wasn't buying the chick a Happy Meal, you know, if his first time going out with a chick or whatever. And I'm like, damn, at least some of us were a little bit more liberal than that. I'm like, all right, man, we'll, because hell, I want to eat, we'll go out to eat, hang out or whatever. But God, dog, so it's always been that, Ice Cube made the song back in the day talking about a chick is trying to gank you for your money or whatever. Like, so this has been common knowledge. This has been a thing that women are gonna try to get you. You get, who's gonna get what they want to get first, or both of y'all are mutually like, okay, you know what, you're cool enough that, hey, I'll do this for you. You're cool enough that I'll do this for you on both sides, and then we both get what we want and we're cool. But so they're telling these men something like they don't already know. But the shaming is on 10 for these brothers. So I salute them if that's what you're gonna do. And look, from what I'm seeing, you know, from what I'm seeing in terms of even amongst the Muslim women in the United States, they're the Islam is not strong enough to where for a lot of them that I'm saying, and I'll just say this on social media anyway. I'll say that social media is what you call it. So I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even encourage a brother to necessarily, you know, take a wife from here, and if he can help it, I would say, hey, look overseas in terms of, you know, in the Caribbean or in Africa or something to that effect, to where their culture is a little bit, better in terms of, when I say better, I would say more patriarchal, because they respect the male figure more than here, or at least you have to find a woman with, you know a strong father presence, like like my wife is a daddy's girl. So it's this thing of, um where, as even as a grown woman, she didn't want to do certain stuff with she didn't even want to do certain stuff because it's like, she felt embarrassed or ashamed that her dad, would know it. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain stuff that she was like, I ain't want my dad to, people over here doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, dang, I ain't do it. That ain't me. You know what I mean? Like this kind of thing, because of the reverence for her father and so forth. But yeah, I mean, it's getting bad out here. I mean, the young Muslim women get married young, and because they and or the men or the boy or the young men that they married are not marriage ready or marriage material. They get a baby outside, and it almost looked like they were a single mom, but they were married, but the marriage was so short, and it produced a child out of it. You know what I mean? Like, and then now they got babies trying to go into the next relationship, and they in their early 20s. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's looking, it's looking like the culture is so, or the society, the environment is so rotten and toxic that, it's seeping into every level, no matter what their background is of woman here in the United States, black, white, or whatever. And so if those brothers have to go hey man, look, black men deserve to, if they can find some happiness somewhere in this system, find a woman that can give them some peace, hey man, they deserve that. They don't owe anybody anything. You know, Dr. John Henry Clark was saying that, what is it that the quote, black people don't owe nobody nothing, but white people nothing but an ass whooping, or something to that effect. Well, darn it, black men don't owe anybody anything in terms of being able to be happy, man. They deserve to have the full range of expression like everybody else. It's like, if black women are happy being single and they found their peace and they don't want to be married and don't want to have a man, and brothers are, they don't have to sit back and suffer with somebody who don't want to be married in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, Okay, cool, fine. You don't want to be married. All right, well, I'm gonna go find women that want to be married and want to start a family because that's what I want. And if they gotta go overseas to do it, then so be it. You know, if women are like they don't want to lose weight because they don't have to, okay, fine, don't lose weight, but we're gonna go over here to women that are more fit and more attractive or whatever. I mean, brothers had that right, and you know, and I'm glad a lot of these brothers are like, "Hey, look, we're not gonna be shamed, because that's becoming sickening at this point. Brothers can't do anything without being shamed. I mean, again, yes, going out the door, you don't have to talk about the chicks that you're leaving. Um, if if I were to do that, I wouldn't say anything about the women that I'm leaving behind. If I were to say, okay, look, you know what, um, me and my wife ain't work out or whatever, and I'm like, all right, I want to get back out here or whatever, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I don't want to deal with Black American women. I'm not gonna talk about them going on the way out. I'm gonna just exit left. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, well, dad, where did that brother go? Okay, well, he just ain't dealing with a Black American woman, but I'm not going to say anything about them on my way out. But that will be the only criticism that I have against some of the brothers. But again, if it's to make a call to your brothers and say, hey, look, man, none of these women in here, none of these women, in my opinion, are worth dealing with. You know, there's other women over in these other. You make up your own mind. And if brothers are saying it like that, it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? And all this game stuff or whatever. Okay, they don't have no game. So what? What is that? How is that hurting you? You want them as customers to come over here and get game, or you just saying it to your customers or whatever? I'm like, because look, Lucario was very honest about, hey, he running a business. It's about a business to him. Whether or not it helped, is there a money back guarantee on your product? But these brothers still got to go out and perform, and it's still a trial and error. But hey, salute to them, the brothers, passport brothers or whatever. Again, like the one brother said, hey, there's SEX workers here. So if they got with them here, is that a problem? I mean, dang, you can't turn around and a chick not having OnlyFans or something. So I can't, I really can't understand how people will say, hey, they're just getting with sex workers overseas when I cannot not say the word, but anyway, they're getting with these type of workers overseas, but then the majority over here want to be that same type of worker. If I mean, and if not in a professional setting, hell, they want to be it on a low level because they're like, hey, you got to pay all this and all this and all this for me. You got to give all this money to me up front, and then in turn, what you want ain't even guaranteed because then they'll pull that. Well, a woman ain't obligated to do X, Y, and Z. Man, do you blame? Nobody should blame these brothers for saying, all right, adios, I'm out. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. But anyway, shout out to those brothers, the passport brothers. Whether people want to admit it, they are winning. They've already won when they got this many people upset. You're doing they are hitting a nerve and doing the right thing for them, at least for themselves, by how many people are disapproving of it. Black men don't get this much hate unless they're doing something right. And again, there has to be some type of consequences if black women are saying, if brothers are saying, hey, look, man, y'all are just too fat. Dang it, I don't want no fat woman. I don't want a woman with all these kids by all these different dudes. Well, god darn it, you just gonna have to suffer the consequences in a sense by us saying, all right, we ain't dealing with you no more, and that's it. And like I said, some of these brothers need to raise their standards anyway, because some of these women are way too bold and talk way too much because there's always some brother simping in these comments. Facebook is bad for it too. You can't see a post with a big woman that's bigger than Lizzo, and it's 1,000 people in there saying, and it be black men talking about how beautiful and how this and they want to do that. I'm like, dude, would y'all, if y'all don't stop all that damn simping? This is why these women have the egos that they have. But again, I think A lot of these women understand that it ain't cheap to go overseas and live and even to visit hell half the time, because they always with black men going overseas, they're broke. Black women go overseas, they rich and they live in the life and popping, and then they got it popping. Like to travel as a black woman, then it's a status thing. You got money because you're able to go travel. Black men travel and go overseas, they broke. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like it's always the negative opposite for brothers to do the same thing. It's always a negative and the exact opposite of what of when they get lauded when they do it. You know what I mean? Black women get lauded when they do it because they flexing and they popping, they living their best life. Brothers do it, then it's just like, hey, you broke and dusty, and we ain't want you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, keep doing y'all thing, brothers. Again, I'm agnostic in the sense of if you do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever you do, just be happy, um, be safe, and at the end of the day, how we're gonna come back together as a community and build relationships and so forth. Well, if one side is not accountable and you're not able to punish punish the bad behavior on that side, we don't have to accept the behavior that we don't want to accept. And if it means going over and getting other women, again, like I said, it was only one logical argument, but that argument doesn't hold water for the younger generations because they don't they're just getting out here in the dating scene. And Austin's 23. You can't say, he didn't produce the type of woman that he wanted. That's the three generations before him should have done that. So we failed him in that regard. So why would we be mad if he chose to go elsewhere to get a better product when we didn't produce one that was good enough for him? But anyway, those are my final thoughts. Peace, Rebel family.